It's July 2015 in St. Petersburg, Russia. Neighbors near an abandoned lot complained to police that a rancid smell had been coming from a lot for days. Police thought it was just a dead animal, but when they searched the lot, they discovered 7 black trash bags, and the odor was even stronger when they were near these bags. That's when one of the policemen opened one of these bags, and they were immediately shocked. In the bags, they discovered body parts, but not just in one, but in all 7. Hello, I am the Grin, and joining me today is the lovely
Amari.
Welcome to our podcast, a place where we do not shy away from the gruesome details, where some things may be triggering and hard to hear. Listener discretion is advised, so get yourself in the right space of mind and let's talk about dark shit.
Yay.
Let's do it. Okay, I'm going to start this episode by saying I hope you guys listened to our previous episode where Amari talked about the lady who did baby farming.
Amelia Dyer.
Yes. Because at the end of that episode, we talked about, or Amari brought up the fact that that woman, when she was brought to trial, brought to justice, everybody was shocked that
it was a mother.
That it was a mother,
female.
that this woman was capable of such horrific acts. And we had like a full-on conversation at the end of that episode about how evil can come in any gender, any age. Basically, it can come from anybody. And the reason why I bring that up is because of the monster that we're going to talk about today, who, when she was brought to justice, not only was the public shocked because of her gender, but because of her age as well.
Okay, I'm just thinking like she's going to be really, really old, isn't she?
Okay, so today I will be actually talking about Tamara Samsonova. Who I am going to apologize. I always do this in advance because I am not Russian and I'm going to be pronouncing Russian names and cities, so please bear with me. So Tamara was born on April 25th, 1947 in Uzur, which is now Krasnoyarsk Krai in Russia. However, some articles do state that her actual date of birth was February 5th, 1947. This is one of those things that I came across where different articles said different things. I'm going with the April one because most articles had the April date, but again, there were some that had a February 5th, so take that what you will. After graduating high school, she went to Moscow State Linguistic University.
Oh my God, just like Anatoly Moskvin.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. He went to the same place.
I was going to say I was going to say this toward the end, but Russia kind of scares me. They're
very eclectic.
Apparently they go to the same schools. And after she graduated there, she left to Moscow and moved to St. Petersburg. Now, St. Petersburg, if you didn't know, is the second largest city in Russia following Moscow. So once she moved to St. Petersburg, she met a man named Alexei Samsonova and they married. I don't know how long they dated, but they eventually met and married in 1971. And that's also the year that the couple moved into a newly built panel apartment on Dmitrov Street. Now, not much is known about her upbringing. That is the only thing that I found about her past up until the year 2000. And that is when her husband goes missing. She reports this to police, but also she goes on to mention that he had probably ran away with another woman because she is not surprised if he would do something like that. He's a cheater, she went on to tell them. And police honestly had no reason not to believe her and didn't look any further. So at the time of this recording, Alexei has never been seen from or heard from again.
Jeez.
So keep that in mind as I go on with this case. Don't forget that little part. After her husband's disappearance, Tamara began to rent out a room in her apartment that she lived in. She did this because of economical reasons, but again, other articles stated that she did this because she didn't want to live alone, which I could believe either one because of, again, other things that I'm going to go on to mention here. Over the years, she went through many roommates because she was just a difficult person to live with. Apparently, neighbors would always see Tamara argue with her renters. Neighbors did come forward after the trash bags were found, stating that they always heard yelling and banging coming out of her apartment. So loud noises were never a surprise by neighbors. They just thought, honestly, that Tamara had a very difficult personality and that the renters just packed up their things and left. Now we will jump to 2015. So during the time of the intro to this case that I was mentioning when the trash bags were discovered, Tamara moves in with a woman named Valentina Ulanova. Because her apartment is being renovated, and I'm saying that in quotes. Now, why did she move in with Valentina? Because Valentina lived on the same street as Tamara, and Valentina was looking for someone to help her around the house and care for her, because Valentina was a 79-year-old. Keep in mind, Tamara was
60s, right?
Tamara was in her 60s now, like 64, I believe. So in return to staying with Valentina, Tamara agrees to care for the elderly woman. Now, things were good for some time that we know of, until one day when Valentina and Tamara had a spat about unwashed dishes left in the dishwasher. That's when Valentina had enough and told Tamara that she needed to move out the following day. But Tamara had no intention of leaving Valentina's apartment and had an idea. Tamara went to a nearby city, the city of Pushkin, where she convinced a pharmacist to sell her phenazepam over the counter without an RX or without a prescription.
What is that?
Now, for those of you who don't know what phenazepam is, it's a drug that's designed to help neurological disorders like insomnia and anxiety, and is typically only available via prescription.
This is 2015, you said?
2015.
How in the heck was she able to convince a pharmacist to give her that?
My thoughts exactly.
You need prescriptions. Is it different in Russia or?
No. All the articles I read stated that you need to have a prescription to buy this. This isn't an over-the-counter drug. So how she convinced that pharmacist, I have no clue because I couldn't find how.
I'm trying to think. The nice old lady look?
Nice little old lady act. Oh, I forgot my prescription.
Well, I don't know. She's in her 60s. That's not really old. There's some 60 years olds that...
I will post her pictures on Instagram when she was arrested, and you can make your own conclusions. 60s, yeah. I mean, if you are somebody who takes care of yourself.
Yeah, 60s don't look that bad, really.
Other people who don't take care of themselves.
Okay, so we're guessing. Okay, so we're looking at that one then. Okay. Got it.
Yeah, we're looking at those. And again, phenazepam is only available via prescription. And people really enjoyed taking it who didn't need a prescription because of its euphoric effects. So people got high off it, basically. Tamara was able to get the drug, and what she did when she got home immediately is started to prepare a salad for Valentina with a special ingredient. And I think we all know what that ingredient is. It's the phenazepam that she was able to get.
And it tastes just like Parmesan.
Yep.
I'm kidding.
She gave Valentina the salad and then proceeded to go to sleep. On July 23rd, 2015, at around 2 a.m., Tamara awoke and found Valentina on the kitchen floor. That's when Tamara realized her plan is working. She wasn't done yet, though. What she did is she began to dismember Valentina with a hacksaw and 2 knives.
So did she overdose her, or because you said it just gives people a euphoric feeling?
Yes, she
Was
did
she
not
dead?
overdose her. I'm gonna
Oh, okay. Go
go
ahead.
on.
Continue.
Um, I know I already said that she begins to dismember her, but it's gonna get pretty gruesome here. So if you don't like this, leave. But we're gonna continue. Now, it is reported that Valentina was still breathing when Tamara was dismembering her, but it is unclear if she felt any pain during the process because she was basically high off this drug.
So that means she wasn't screaming or anything.
She couldn't.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Is that what the drug does to you? It's
Yeah.
just you can't do anything?
Well, I don't think that's what the drug does, but this is an elderly woman taking.
And she probably gave
I
her a lot.
Yeah, I'm assuming she gave her a big dosage, hence why she just passed out on the floor.
Also, how did Tamara, how did she, or yeah, how did she know that drug would do that to her? Because you didn't say anything about her having any kind of medical history.
We'll get there.
I asked too many questions ahead of time.
You just want to know everything
I'm
now, don't you,
curious.
Amadi? Let me give things to you what? What am I trying to say?
One step at a time?
One step at a time. Hold your horses, Amadi. Tamara then began to slice Valentina's hands and head off, and then she placed them in a saucepan and began to boil them on the stove. Then began to wrap the other limbs with a shower curtain and place them in trash bags. She had to use 7 trash bags because she was going to take out the garbage and didn't want these bags to be too heavy.
But she kept the hands and the head?
Yes, and we'll proceed to what she's probably going to do. I'm assuming you probably know what's going to happen here. She's boiling.
Well, of course I'm going to say, yeah, she's probably going to eat her. But there's also been other cases where people, when they dismember somebody, they don't know how to get rid of the body. So sometimes they think of boiling or cooking the head in hopes that it'll be more pliable, I guess.
So that way police can't identify the victim. Yeah, okay, I get that. But
the way you
we're
said
going
it,
with the
she's gonna
latter.
eat it. Okay.
She's gonna eat Valentina. That's when she took the trash bags to the lot and just left them there because that lot, I guess, was used to just throw out unwanted things. It's like a abandoned lot that just people dump their trash at. She had to take multiple trips since she put small parts in each bag in order to carry them out. This woman, again, I'll post a picture, but she was a frail elderly woman. And this is why it shocked a lot of people. The saucepan with the head and hands were never found.
Not even the skull or bones?
Mm-mm. Now, we're going to jump to police finding the body parts from the intro. Police immediately tried to identify who the limbs belonged to. That's when several neighbors claimed that they haven't seen Valentina for some time. When a social worker tried to check on Valentina, Tamara answered the door to her home and refused to let the social worker in. That is when police were notified and they went over. Tamara, however, had no issue letting the police in. In fact, Tamara was very kind to them, cooperative, answering all their questions and being just the sweetest little old lady. But police immediately found traces of blood in the bathroom and kitchen, and when police confronted her about the blood and Valentina's disappearance, Tamara just took a seat and immediately confessed to murdering and dismembering her.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out, like, she was okay to bring them in despite knowing what she did. And okay, I did it. I'm going to tell you guys about it.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And not only that, but she went on to confess to 3 other killings. Investigators also found CCTV footage of Tamara carrying trash bags outside, coming back and forth, making a total of 7 trips. and she was arrested on July 27th, 2015. Now, when the police went inside the apartment, not only did they find the blood, they also found a diary that belonged to Tamara. In one entry, it stated, "I killed my tenant, Balodoya, cut him into pieces in the bathroom with a knife, put the pieces of his body in plastic bags, and threw them away in different parts of Fruzhensky district." Now, in another entry, it also went on to describe how she killed and dismembered Sergei Patnoviv, a 44-year-old man who had an argument with her, and she also went on to kill him, dismember him, put his body parts in plastic bags, and just dumped it around the neighborhood.
So going to those bodies, did she do the same thing to them in those bags?
Yes.
The head missing and so the hands?
No, actually.
She only did it for Valentina.
For those people, their lungs were missing, which is another thing I forgot to state.
How long ago were those bodies put there? That the lungs were still there?
No, they were not there. The lungs were
that the organs were still there.
Well, they actually didn't find the bags.
They didn't find the bags?
They didn't find the bags.
They just saw it on CCTV?
No. She confessed to those. These are just confessions.
So she confessed that the lungs are not in those bodies?
Yes, because she went on to confess that she ate the lungs.
So those bags were never found of those 3 people?
Those 3 people, correct.
So how can they actually say that she did something if they never saw anything?
That is a difficult one, but we will continue.
Go ahead.
Yes, you're right. All they have to go off on is her diary entries and her confession. In her diary, there were also songs and poems. There was even an entry about Valentina saying, "I love you, Valia." There were other things written. Towards the end, that's when you find the entries stating that she had a fascination for gouging out people's lungs and eating them.
So did she do the same to Valentina?
Correct.
Okay.
It is also thought that Tamara began killing people as soon as her husband went missing. So that's why I said,
the first one.
That's what I said. Don't forget about her husband. In none of the articles that I read did it state that she killed him, but you can make your own conclusion.
But she didn't say she did anything to him.
Yeah. She didn't confess anything about him. She didn't write any entries about him. But
yeah, because if she's going to confess to 3 other men and that she killed them and ate their lungs, and you're going to get in trouble, might as well just say, if you killed your husband, just tell them you did it.
Yeah, right? Now.
Unless they have kids or they had kids.
No.
And she was just like, I'm not going to do this to them.
They didn't have kids.
Okay. She should have just confessed if she did it then.
My thoughts exactly. But we're also going to get into the fact that during the 2 decades that Tamara was out there killing people left and right, she was also admitted into a psychiatric hospital 3 times. Hence why that's probably where she found out about the drug that she used to paralyze Valentina.
Got it.
Okay. And it is also believed that during one of her visits, that's when they...
Or
stays. That's when they diagnosed her with schizophrenia. Because... Now we're going to talk about why she immediately confessed to cops. She was so happy being let out of the neighborhood and taken to prison because she stated, finally, that maniac up in my attic won't bother me anymore.
I'm going to do what I do in movies. So does that mean this is all in her head and she thinks there's somebody up there, or that's where her husband's body is? And she's just thinking that he's been talking and yelling at her.
So, no, never did she state that the maniac that she referred to was her husband. There was no body ever found in her attic. But in journal entries, and she kept repeating it over and over, she kept saying that there was a maniac up in her attic who would always yell at her and taunt her. Again, I believe that she was actually diagnosed with schizophrenia. This woman was suffering from schizophrenia.
Was there any article that said that if she was diagnosed with schizophrenia, that she was taking medication for it?
No. But schizophrenia, from what I read in some of the articles, is it's whenever you get diagnosed with schizophrenia or when you have schizophrenia, it first starts to appear at the age of 16. So people think that this woman had been suffering from schizophrenia at a very young age and
Hopefully
never took any medication for help that I know of. Again, articles didn't state that she was. She knew what phenazepam was.
I'm trying to think. This was okay. So if she was 16, this would have been in what, 1960, 1960s,
50s,
50s. She was born in 46,
47.
47.
Yeah, 50s, 60s, around there.
I wonder. I can't think if they actually knew that much about schizophrenia back then,
That too. That's a valid point.
or they were just thinking like, oh, she's just a crazy kid.
Yeah. I mean, back then also there was such a stigma behind
See,
mental
now
illness.
I'm thinking, since you said that there was really nothing until her husband was missing, which was what, 2005?
No, he went missing in the year 2000.
Okay, 2000. You heard nothing except that she went to college, linguistics. I wonder if she was on medication that whole time. And then up until right before her husband goes missing, she stops taking it.
That's actually a really good theory. I didn't think of that.
Because that's a long time of nothing happening. And then all of a sudden, like a span of what, 15 years, you kill 4, maybe 5 people?
That's pretty valid. That's a valid theory. That's a really good theory. I didn't think of that. Now, before we get to the interrogation and the trial, one of Tamara's neighbors did come forward. Her name was Marina Krivenko, and she had been Tamara's neighbor for 15 years. And she decided to speak to police because she always had her suspicions about Tamara. Because Tamara would always tell her, one day I'm going to be famous and you're going to know my name and you're going to know all the sick things I've done.
Oh my God. That's an interesting neighbor to have.
I would be like, bitch, get away from me.
I was thinking opposite. I would probably look out my window to see when she's going outside and then go outside at the same time. Like, so anything new? Any stories?
Put up cameras, probably. Maybe she's the reason why there were cameras on the street. And Marina also said that Tamara had an obsession, a big obsession with Andre Chikatilo, who I don't know if you guys are aware who Andre is. In case you aren't, Andre Chikatilo was known as the Butcher of Rostov. He sexually assaulted, murdered, and mutilated 53 women and children from 1978 to 1990 and was executed in 1994. And Tamara was a big fan.
Would she just randomly talk about him?
Yeah. And she had journal entries on Chikatilo.
What'd she say?
That she admired his way of killing his victims.
Oh, that's all she would say?
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
He's a great guy. Oh, that's a great way to consume your victim. Maybe I'll try that.
I wonder if I can beat his record. I'm too old for this. I can't do that. I'll try.
Now, when they went through the diary, they did basically come to the conclusion that this woman was actually cooking and eating her or consuming her victims. And she admitted to it with unapologetically. She just said, yeah, I ate Valentina and I ate parts of my other victims. She had no remorse stating all of this. And police also started to get a feeling that Tamara wasn't fully there, especially when Marina also went on to admit that Tamara would also have very strange episodes where she would just go outside and sunbathe without her top on
On the front yard.
in the front yard. And she did this because she wanted to attract the men in the neighborhood.
And she was 60?
Well, she'd started doing this after.
So in her 40s?
Yeah.
I guess. She's a cougar. I don't know.
So,
She
yes.
actually said that, trying to attract the hot men in the...
That's what Marina said. That's what Marina said. And yeah, that's why a lot of the women in the neighborhood were not a fan of Tamara or her way of living.
Okay, I get it. That I wouldn't be like, jealous. I think I would be more of like, that's weird. Like,
Again, you would
could
be like
put a
peeking
bikini top maybe, but that's weird.
Yeah. Not in front of the children.
Oh yeah, if there's children in the neighborhood. Oh my god, I mean, didn't even think of that.
Yeah, I'd be like, don't go out right now. There's something strange going on outside. Just play inside. Yeah, so Tamara's first hearing was July 29th, 2015, and this occurred 2 days after her arrest. That's when she calmly in the courtroom admitted to killing, dismembering, eating Valentina. She told the judge, who was Judge Roman Chevotaryov, that she was guilty and that she deserved punishment. Tamara said that she had been waiting 10 years for police to finally show up to her front door and arrest her. She had also told him that Valentina was a good way to end that chapter of her life.
That's what she said?
In quotes. And then she, in the middle of the hearing also, yeah, this woman is insane. In the middle of the hearing, she also stood up and, in quotes, said, "It's stuffy in here. Can I go out?" End quote.
I don't even know if I can say that would be because of schizophrenia. Some people are just weird like that and just say things like that, especially in court because they're nervous. Unless she wasn't nervous, and then that's just...
No, this woman was not nervous. So when this woman was caught and the media were having a frenzy, she was blowing kisses to the cameras.
Okay, I'm going to ask. Is this that smiling granny with like reddish brown, wiry looking hair? And I want to say that she's wearing a red sweater in her pictures. Okay, I knew
That is
it.
her.
I knew it.
She is blowing kisses. She is giving interviews.
She was 60 in those photos?
Yep.
That's a shot out looking 60. That's
what I told
60.
you. That's what I was telling you. I was like, no, this lady was in the rough part of the 60s, not in the good part.
Yeah, I thought she was like 80s.
No.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Ew. Imagine her like, I just want to go outside and attract men with no top on.
Oh, God. Excuse me while I vom in my mouth. Yeah, she thought she was a celebrity when she was arrested. She was very happy. And when they reviewed her diary, it contained a lot of confessions. It contained confessions to 10 murders. And the police began investigating the people who had gone missing and tried to scour the neighborhood for any piece of evidence that they could find, because in order to convict somebody, you have to have a body.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Did they even find the other 3 bodies that she was talking about?
And they couldn't. Although the one victim, the 44-year-old Sergei, they found traces of his blood scattered all over her bathroom.
And there's no timeline, right?
And there is no timeline.
So, okay. Well, that's just blood then, if there's nothing else.
Yeah. It's difficult.
Did they go look, or did they scour the dump site, the dumping site that everybody just goes to?
Yes.
And nothing
I mean,
else?
that was even I feel like even me, who doesn't even know anything, would go and look there because, I mean,
I'm just saying, there's some cases where the
that is
police do
very,
not do that.
very true. There are some
For unknown reasons. They
I don't-
won't do like the
some police are
basics.
very good at their job. Some police aren't. Some police, I guess, just don't care. But some police do. These people investigated the whole neighborhood. They like searched because, again, you need a body in order to convict. And police, honestly, after talking to her and reading her diaries, they came to a conclusion that she was close to murdering up to 21 people.
Based on her diary?
Based on her diaries.
Diaries?
Diaries.
How many did they find?
Just 2 from what I saw, or from what I found.
That's a huge book.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're thinking it could have been close to 20
21.
within 15 years.
Yes.
Dang.
Yeah. And one of those could have been her husband, but again, you're right. It would make sense for you to just confess. You're already confessing to all these other crimes.
Yeah, might as
Why
well.
not just? But she didn't. But they never found him.
In her diaries, did she have their names on there?
No. Some of them, yes. For example, Valentina, but she would
What
have
was her
like their
last
like
one?
Nicknames.
Oh, darn.
Yeah.
I was hoping like maybe she had their full names or something.
like that other-
this person moved in this date.
Like that other sick fuck from Mexico who had all the ladies' IDs and their names and their weights and stuff.
Oh, the one who would weigh their body parts.
Yeah.
Their organs, right? He would
Yeah,
weigh
it was their organs.
Some people keep that for trophies. That's probably what this.
That sick bastard kept that for trophies. This
Yeah.
one.
This is her trophy.
This is her trophy,
diary.
but she didn't keep names in record.
Her little pet names for them.
Yeah, she only kept.
That's what I was hoping, that she
It's kinda
kept the
sick.
names though, so they can, if there was a way to actually look into these people have been reported missing.
Yeah.
Damn, that sucks.
I mean, I would assume that you would try to figure out who her renters were and do it that way and connect
It
the
was
dots.
probably like under the table kind of thing.
Yeah, it's difficult. But police discovered that Vladimir, one of Tamara's first victims, in fact, Tamara's first ever roommate, was admitted to the hospital for poisoning and survived. But he dipped.
Oh, he's
He
alive.
dipped. He's alive.
So he told the police that I did go to the hospital while I was living with her
Yeah.
because I was poisoned.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I got poisoned.
Yeah, I'm assuming he just thought he got food poisoning, but he got freaked the fuck out and he was like dipped. And good for you, honestly, because
That sucks though, because I think hospitals or and medical professionals, I think they have to have a reason to check to see what's in your system.
oh, yeah, I don't know much about that, so I can't really comment on it.
I think I remember seeing
think-
something about that if you have poison, but they have to have a reason. If they actually, like something about like if they actually have a reason of you being actually poisoned by somebody else, then they'll do the lab work and everything.
Okay, so I
heard
think, you know
about
what? I
something
think
like
that does make sense. That does make sense. I don't know if it's the same case in Russia,
Oh,
but
that's true.
yeah, that would make sense though, because it would, like, you're right? You had to get permission.
Yeah, because if I go to the doctor right now or to urgent care, like I think I have food poisoning, they're not going to check to see what poisoned me. They're just going to give me medicine or antibiotics or something.
Yeah.
Go home and sleep it off. It's okay.
Oh my gosh. But I mean, good for him. He survived it and got out of the hospital and dipped.
He had an inkling.
I'm pretty sure he did. Poor guy.
No, not poor guy. Good for him.
Or yeah, good
No.
for you. Yeah. I don't know why I said that. Yes, and get this. So it was discovered also that there was never any renovations being done at Tamara's apartment. And she just wanted to get out of her apartment because the maniac was bothering her now more than ever. And she thought that Valentina's home was the perfect escape. Since she lived on the same street, she could keep an eye out on her house, and she wouldn't have to deal with the maniac.
I wonder if she was stalking her, like obsessing.
Maybe, but she said that the voices followed her to Valentina's house.
See, to me, I'm thinking that if she lived down the street, she knew of her, she wanted her, not that way, but she wanted her to be close, and she knows that she's not going to move in because she has her own place, so she's just going to make something up, like, oh, my house is being renovated, I need somewhere to stay.
That makes sense.
And that was her only way, because the other people, if she did it, were roommates of hers that moved into her place.
And it was her territory. You know what? Again, a really good theory that I didn't think of. Wow, Amadi, you go. You're on a roll today. In December of 2015, Tamara was sent to a psychiatric prison in Kazan. The Kazan Psychiatric Hospital of Special Purpose with Intensive Guarding. That's a long...
That's the name of it?
Yes. I'm like stumbling on my words. She was sent there for an assessment and then was basically deemed unfit to stand trial and was ordered to live out the rest of her life in the mental institution. She was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, and it was thought that she was a threat to herself and those around her. So they were going to monitor her 24/7.
She killed Valentina and admitted to it. Of course she is.
She ate her victims.
Yeah, of course she's a threat. What do you mean? That should have been the first thing you guys said.
So, yes, that is the case of the Granny Ripper, as she was dubbed, named, coined, whatever the proper term is.
I like the term, though, dubbed, named, coined. I like that one a lot.
I was like, did I miss any? Yeah, this lady was crazy. Honestly, Amadi, you came up with some really good theories that I did not think of whatsoever when I was researching this case. So yeah, things for me to think about, honestly, because I didn't think of any of those possibilities.
So she technically only got arrested for just one killing.
Yep.
Is she still alive?
She is still alive. That she is.
I wonder if people have tried to interview her.
So currently she is 77.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. I feel weird. Maybe they have, but it's what this sick individual wanted. She's longed for a celebrity status, and she even told her neighbor that one day I'm going to be famous and you're going to know all the dirty little things I did.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, the neighbor could have been just making this up, but never mind, because those pictures of her smiling and blowing kisses, that just tells you everything right there.
Yeah. Like, she wanted to be caught, and she was happy, and she was never remorseful. She was never apologetic. She was never sad about anything. She was just happy. The smile on her face, confessing to all these heinous acts.
Damn, I'm just thinking, I wish there was a way they found if, she actually did get rid of the other bodies, or if she did murder other people. Because that makes you wonder, like, people in that area could have family members missing and they don't know if she could have done it.
That's very true.
They could just be thinking, like, oh my God, like, supposedly they left for whatever, another country or state or whatever, and in reality, maybe she killed them.
That's pretty true.
And now their lungs is in her system.
Oh.
Sorry.
I mean, that's very true, but yeah. I guess we won't get any answers there, and I'm kind of disheartened that these families won't get the closure that they need.
If she, in fact, did kill 21 other people.
Which, honestly, I mean, I don't know. She very well could have.
I don't. It's hard because she's schizophrenic. She was saying that there was a maniac living in her attic and yelling at her. She also could have been thinking that she did all these other murders.
Yeah.
Because all the other ones, were they supposedly male?
Most of them. Not all of them.
In the diaries?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, if they were all males and Valentina was the only one that was a female and she got in trouble for it, I don't know. I don't know. I'm saying maybe the schizophrenia has something to do with her writing all this other stuff because it's all in her head.
It's a possibility, but it's also a possibility that she in fact did kill all these people and just after she was done just wrote in her diary.
But it's just weird though that if she murdered all these other people, where did she put those bags? Because Valentina, she murdered, put it in the dump where there's CCTV. But yet the other ones were never found.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden she decided like, oh, I'm just going to use this dump now instead. I don't know. I just feel like people like that would have a routine.
Like a pattern?
Yeah, a pattern. There you go.
That's true.
Of where they
but maybe
dump their bodies.
What if the bags that she disposed of were collected and just thrown out?
Oh, okay. Maybe.
Yeah. It's a sick one. But I know how you guys always tune into our very sick and disturbing ones. So I thought I would bring another one to the table. And yes, this in fact cements that whole conclusion that we did in that other episode where evil comes in all genders,
all
ages, races, whatever. Yeah. This lady was, again, people were shocked because of her age and gender that she would be capable of doing something so horrific.
And in that popular photo that she was just so happy.
Yes, I will. Most of you probably don't know, but I will be posting those pictures in case you have never seen those pictures of her blowing her kisses when she was caught on Instagram. If you want to go look, if you're not too disturbed. So please make sure you're following us there. Make sure you're following us on YouTube, TikTok. We're at Let's Talk About Dark Shit. And yes, that is the conclusion to the Granny Ripper, aka Tamara Samsonova. And Amadi, did you want to add anything?
Let us know what you guys think in the comments of YouTube or Instagram. Let us know if you guys are curious about anybody else you guys want us to talk about or look into. Just give our opinions on.
Oh, yes. Yes. Amadi brought up a great point because in this episode, I name dropped Andre Chikatilo, which if you guys want me to dedicate a whole episode on him, let me know and I will. Even though I gave you guys like a brief little summary on the also horrific things that he did. But yes, if you have any other people that you want us to talk about, any other cases that you want us to dedicate an episode on, just leave it in the comments. And with that, remember to be well.
Be safe.
And see you next time. Bye.
Bye.